Okay, still in the Metu Netter. We have covered the Tree of Life. We're still in chapter 6. We have 0. Zero is the main point as to where everything is in the beginning. And the only consciousness is the consciousness of self. There is no other thought in that realm, because in that sphere, even thought beyond consciousness of self begins the process to objectification. So the step 0 is I am. Step 1 is the understanding of I am and my unlimited ability within time and space. Sphere number 2 is the will to create within that time and space. Number 3 is the power to create within said time and space based on that will. First, I have to understand my potential within time and space. Then I have to have the will to create within that time and space. Then I need to have the power to create in that time and space. When all of those things have happened, we have gone through the first triangle of the Tree of Life, which is the previous video. Number 4, begin the acts of creation. Now we're moving toward objects. All right. So now we're talking about spheres 4, 5, and 6. 4 is the order. When you get into the metaphysical transmission requires order. There is no order in oneness. And we are still in oneness in the subjective realm. There is no oneness without interdependence upon things. There is no order in one. You must have two things. One's more important than the other. One's bigger, one's fatter, one's wet, one's cold, one's superior, one's inferior, one's foundational, and one is superficial. An order becomes amongst things. So the first thing is to understand what the definition of order is. An excellent definition is where there is no more than one entity, there can be no order. And where a number of things are not related or interdependent, there is implicitly no order. Order is essentially the dependence on the existence of the interdependence, oneness between things. You think about things like Maslow's hierarchy of needs: shelter, food, clothing, self-actualization, love. Everything in our environment we need. Even a cave is something that we would need if we are exposed to the heavens, to the rains, to the winds. We need our environment to shelter us. We need food coming from the ground. Even when we die, our bodies decay and refeed the ground that fed us. There is a constant independence. Water is in the ground. Water falls from the sky. We need water to survive. The sun produces carbon and hydrogen and oxygen, and that is mostly what our bodies are made of. So everything is connected to each other, and in those connections is a said order, which is why everything runs in a perfect order. The sun is the perfect distance from the earth, not to burn it up, but to cause the perfect seasons. And all of these different things as to where you can see where we kind of take order for granted, but that is an excellent articulation of order's definition and order's purpose, because we have a constant oneness which is our original connection that we all revert back to in the subjective realm or in death, which is returning from which we've come. The second act of creation is the fifth sphere. And that is the law that nothing can encroach upon another. Yet although things are protected, the chief interest is preservation of the whole. So the sun has its place, the earth has its place, the universe has its place, people have their place, a vase has its place, a table has its place. Everything has its place in the objective realm. And that makes the order. This room has walls, it has a ceiling, it has a floor. Everything has its particular place, and one doesn't encroach upon the other. They all build upon or build next to or within. But what is important in all of them doing that is the whole, everything working together. The walls, the ceiling, and the floor making a room. The furniture making it an office. The person in it making it a productive office. A person being in the same room and putting a bed and a stove and refrigerator makes it an apartment. All of these things work together toward the whole of whatever it is to become. That is the fifth sphere. The creation of the celestial workers. This is where the metaphysical worker will be coordinated in their activities to bring forth and administrate the physical creatures. This is the work of the sixth sphere. The work of coordination is based upon the canon of the fourth sphere. Now, what is a canon? A canon is a regulation or religious dogma that is generally derived by the church or dictated by the church. Now, in church is a very loose term. When I say church, I don't mean steeple. That means a revelation of God. Let's put it like that. That's about the best way to put it. The creation of celestial workers. Now that the means of establishing and maintaining order are in the place of the Supreme Being, proceeds to create faculties and deities that are directly in charge of the work of creating physical entities. Now it's starting to get sophisticated. Now remember, as we got into the sixth sphere, it automatically took us back to the canon associated with the fourth sphere. And what was the fourth sphere? The fourth sphere is order. So we start off, we have knowledge, consciousness of self. Number one, we have knowledge of self within time and space, and the potential within time and space. Number two is the will to function independently, yet interdependently within time and space. Three is the power to do it. And then metaphysical transformation requires order, rules, governance. That's number four. Number five is the enforcement of said order. There has to be forces that limit creation so things aren't going willy-nilly. So these are the laws, and these are the things put in place to restrict production. That this is the one way that it occurs every time. So you must have order. You must have something to make sure that that order is what's maintained for expectation and for maintaining into the objective realm. This is how things go. These are the laws that make sure everything keeps going the way it is, which is why spiritualism requires science and religions don't. Religions function off of faith because religions are basically systems of control. Now, they do have truths of revelation. They have truths, but that makes them not the truths because it's not the complete revelation. The complete revelation includes logic, science, rhetoric, math, music, arts, all of these things. And that's one thing that you'll find in Masonic study, that it is required that Masons have an understanding of that. Unfortunately, many Masons don't even know why they need to know that because they don't study deeply. But if you're told that this is what you need to study, if indeed you study it, it will move you toward that manifestation. Lastly, you move to number 6, where you begin the formation of the celestial worker. Right?